sure we've all heard the saying, there's no instruction manual for being a parent. It speaks to the complexity and the uncertainty of raising a child. And it isn't until you first lay eyes on your tiny human that the full weight of responsibility hits you. Fortunately, when you become a parent, you have others who have come before you. They've made the mistakes. They've written the books, they've given the TED Talks, and if you remember what they are, they've even made the DVDs. What I'm saying is, there's wisdom that you can lean on. But what about when you're handed something that no one's ever had before? No wise recommendations, no lived experience to draw from? Well, that's what happened with smartphones. One day, we didn't have them. The next, we had the entire world in our palms with almost no limits. You see, when you're holding a newborn baby, the weight of responsibility is obvious. But when you're holding a smartphone, not so much. And I think the same can now be said for the general public's adoption of artificial intelligence. I have a fear that we as a civilization are walking toward our own undoing. In particular, I think we're making the same mistakes that we did with smartphones and social media. Only this time, the potential damage could be far worse. I'm not trying to sound alarmist or like some oracle that can see the future. I'm not an expert in AI, but I was a participant in the biggest social experiment to ever grace humanity. And that was the introduction of the smartphone and social media to millions of developing child brains. You see, when the smartphone and social media wave hit, we were told that they would make life easier, faster, and more entertaining. No longer would you have to go out and experience the world. We've now brought the world to you. Facebook would help strengthen our human connections. Tinder would help us find love. Twitter would make us informed citizens. And to be fair, sometimes this was all true. Smartphones and social media did make life more efficient, more convenient, and more fun. But neither tech companies nor the general public foresaw all the ways that things could go terribly wrong. Now please, forgive me if I sound a little doom and gloom, but individually, social media and smartphones have lowered our self-esteem, shortened our attention spans, and weakened our capacity for original thought and creativity. Socially, they've made us more tribal, less trusting, and more dependent on shallow and superficial connections rather than deep and meaningful ones. Culturally, they've forced us to adopt a sensationalized, algorithmic, instantly gratifying source code. One that encourages us to chase fleeting experiences, hyperdopaminergic brain rot, and socially flattering internet stardom above all else. But I digress. It seems we've finally started to wake up. We see restrictions on social media for teens, bans on smartphones in schools, advocates for a safer internet, and multiple tools to reduce digital addiction. There's movement, there's awareness, there's hope. You'd think we'd learned our lesson, but now we have AI. And once again, people are diving in head first. We're using AI for everything, from breakup texts and love letters to university assignments and therapy sessions, all without stopping to consider the lessons from the smartphone generation. My generation. You see, we're told that AI and smartphones are just tools, but I'm not convinced. A tool is something that you use to achieve a goal. It doesn't influence you. It doesn't use you back. A hammer is a tool. A shovel is a tool. A smartphone and now AI, they're not tools. They're more like alcohol. You see, you have to be vigilant around alcohol, intentional with your use. Sure, sometimes it's fun. You use it to enjoy a meal, loosen up, socialize, get a little rowdy. But used carelessly, without discipline, intention, or caution, it can completely change your life. Just try to imagine for a moment, every time you pull out your phone instinctively to look at something, you're taking a swig. Every time you doom scroll for hours, you're polishing off a slab. And from the outside, it shows. These behaviors change the way you talk, the way you look, the way you think. The only reason we don't recognize this technological alcoholism is because everyone's an alcoholic. It's like we've collectively accepted that being drunk is just the default way of being. And AI? Well, that's a stronger drink. It will seep deeper into the veins of humanity. I'm not saying that it won't bring benefits. It certainly will. But if we drink from the bottle of AI without caution, without intention, the consequences, individually, socially, and culturally, will alter us more fundamentally than anything we've experienced before. We must reinforce the lesson. AI, like smartphones and social media before it, is a technology that we should not use without proper consideration. Tech companies are already following the same trajectory as last time. We have to resist. Now, I'm not saying don't use AI. I'm saying use it the same way you would teach a child to cross the street. Be aware, be intentional, double check, and then move forward. The way we work, socialize, dream, love, and think will all change. That's pretty much certain. But we still have the power to influence how much and in what way. So, what do you think?